So our project is about revolutionizing education using intelligent tutoring system in U.S. education. We're going to talk about how we're going to use AI and implement AI into our education system, the math curriculum specifically, and see how it could help the education system in the future.
Okay, so we want to talk about AI. So artificial intelligence is basically like intelligence demonstrated by self-learning machines and computers, and they mimic human behavior. And we use AI almost every single day, either if we're searching up something on Google or we're using those customer service chatbots. And with this widespread popularization of artificial intelligence, online learning, are also known as intelligent tutoring systems, have emerged. And this was really prominent after and during. So online platforms, which are managed by AI, offer human-like learning experiences to students, and they get to collaborate with the AI so that AI can learn more about the students, and they can create personalized courses based on the students' emotions, progress, and their learning preferences. And these intelligent tutoring systems provide real-time feedback and direction to the user based on their learning style, speed, and weaknesses. And our research aims to investigate if incorporating AI into our education system in the long run will benefit us.
So what we expect, our expectations out of this project is we expect to increase flexibility in teaching, as it's an online thing and you can learn it from anywhere in the world, just as what we're doing right now. You can talk from anywhere, you can learn from anywhere. You don't need to be in one place at a specific time with a teacher. Second, it's the quality of education. The way we try to include the quality of education and increase it is by having a more personalized course for each student. Even if you have a specialized tutor, they won't be able to go through all of the information that you do and try and make a specific plan for you as AI does. So we hope to increase, by having personalized courses, we have to increase the quality of education. We also expect that it'll lower the cost of teaching in mathematics from our traditional system by cutting out major budgets such as books and teachers, etc. So we hope to lower the cost of teaching mathematics in our traditional systems.
So now let's talk about the effects of AI in education specifically. Mathia is an intelligent tutoring system that uses a one-on-one adjustable learning system that resembles a human tutor. AI tutoring has a potential to significantly impact and advance education through various means. And one of the key benefits is actually personalized learning. AI tutoring systems can analyze students' performance and data to adapt to their individual needs and learning styles. And basically by doing so, these systems provide personalized recommendations and adaptive feedback, which ensures that students receive targeted support in areas where they need help the most. AI tutoring can also enhance accessibility of education with the help of AI-powered tools such as Mathia, as we just talked about, or other tools such as LIC. Students can access learning materials and tutoring assistance from anywhere at any time, regardless of their geographical location, which makes education way more accessible for everyone. To make these possible, ITS systems, which is intelligent tutoring systems, are capable of working with large amounts of data to provide all of these services. And below in the picture, we see a demonstration of how Mathia works. Basically, the student solves questions and problems, and based on the responses, based on if they get right or wrong, the AI ITS system gives feedback and gives personalized feedback and tells the student what they can do to further improve their mathematical skills.
So the economic benefits of using AI in education is massive. First off, we have $870 billion spent on education. This was from the US government official website. Out of that 870, 106 billion is spent on mathematics, a huge portion of money. Any sum of money that we need to run this project, I'll discuss, and then we'll subtract it from the original cost that we use in mathematics, and anything extra would be saved money. So First off, we have to contribute laptops. Most schools already give out laptops, but for this scenario, we're going to assume that they didn't, and we have to give laptops to every student who doesn't have one. So if you take the amount of students that don't have a laptop, and you multiply it by the amount of a normal good laptop, not Chromebooks, you'd get around $1.58 billion in laptops. That's the amount of money you have to spend to give every student a laptop. Now, Polygamca's 2023 report estimated that to maintain an AI system, you'd need something between $10,000 to $500,000 yearly to maintain the AI servers, if something goes wrong, etc. So we're going to take the high end of that part, and we'll take the $500,000. You also need internet. Most people in America have internet, thankfully, but there are around 5% of the population, of the student population, that doesn't have internet. To pay for those internet, fast internet and everything, you need $528 million to pay for that. You also need $720 million to get Math IA, which is 45, which we got that statistic from multiplying 45, the normal cost of Math IA, and multiplying it by the amount of students in the United States. You'd get $720 million. The amount of dollars you'd save is around $102.6 billion, which is a lot of money compared to how much we already spend. You save more than 99% of the money that you make.
So now that we've talked about the education and economic effects of incorporating AI, let's talk about the future. So in our modern day education system, we do have a lot of AI applications already being used, such as the one that we just talked about, like Mathia. And in the long run, incorporating AI-powered intelligent tutoring systems into our school's education system would be a good way to revolutionize existing teaching and learning processes for the students and for the teachers. And AI has a promising future in teaching because of its flexibility and accessibility to students, because students are able to access the AI from anytime, anywhere, from any technical device. And furthermore, our study revealed that AI significantly reduced the cost of education, so the government funds towards education decreased. Therefore, we think that if we implement AI or intelligent tutoring systems into the education, we will get a great benefit from it, as well as the students will get a great benefit because they get customized and personalized learning. So what this means is that each student will be able to focus on their weaknesses and ensure that they do their best on whatever they're learning, like their math course. And in the future, we hope that we can learn more about the application of intelligent tutoring systems for a range of courses like English, which involves one's own opinions, personal thoughts, and critical thinking. And the picture on the bottom represents how students are collaborating with AI applications and learning in a classroom.
So in conclusion, what can we take from this research? Artificial intelligence is a human-like intelligence demonstrated by self-learning machines and computers which mimic human behavior. It's used by many of the most important companies and industries in today's world, including Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And some of the most impacted industries are healthcare, entertainment, finance, transportation, and most importantly, education, which is what we were focusing on with this research. With this research, we focus on a specific ITS system called Mathia. We focus on, our research revolved around 3 perspectives, which were educational, economic, and futuristic perspectives. And so what we did is that we combined our findings to make a more detailed research and have a better understanding of this topic as a whole. These ITS systems do, of course, come with drawbacks. One of the drawbacks, as Mohamed mentioned, is the low accessibility to internet and electronic devices in many parts of the country. It accounts for about 5% of the whole student population, which, if you think about, is a big portion of the people of the students. Even though these problems still exist and a way to be solved, these AI systems propose a promising propose promising advancements in education. And if we can eventually get ahead of these problems, we believe that using intelligent tutoring systems in education will in fact be beneficial for further development of education. Thank you for your attention. And then these are our sources. Any questions?
Thank you very much. It was, I think, an interesting and valuable presentation for us. And wow, the cars are without drivers. Now the classrooms, teaching and learning process is without teachers. It is interesting. I have only one question. What do you think about the teachers, the teacher of mathematics? What are we going to do with them if you are going to use this AI?
Since they already have a degree in teaching mathematics, it wouldn't be hard to get them a degree in engineering or any other kind of subject. So they could go on to teach engineering or go on to high level or college level courses, because this only covers basic first and secondary courses in high school and middle school, elementary. They could go on to be professors, or they could change their course completely and go on to be software engineers, etc.
I feel like another thing is that we can combine in-person education and remote education together to provide a hybrid atmosphere where the teachers do teach in class, but at the same time, they get to see the progress of their students through the use of these AI ITS systems and see their progress over time and to prepare them more efficiently for their finals or whatever they're studying for.
Any additions? So it's nice to hear that you have a plan. We have a plan for the teachers of mathematics. That's good for their future. Okay, any other questions or any additions for this young academicians presentation or questions for them? Alper, can you stop the sharing, please? Okay, thank you. And can we continue with the next presentation? Yeah, there are 4 authors here, academicians. It's about charisma and learning, designing charismatic behaviors for virtual human tutors. The authors are here, Lakeisha Onyango, Rahma Darwesh, Precious, Jadini. Are they here?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, with the Light Academy, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's nice to see you. The stage is yours. We are listening to you.
So today we'll be talking on charisma and learning, specifically designing charismatic behavior for virtual human tutors. My name is Lakeisha Onyango.
Uthaynah Abdullatif
Jadini and Rahma Darwesh. And we are students of LIC Academy from 3C. Thank you. So firstly, emotions are inherently linked to and influence cognitive skills such as attention, memory, executive function, decision-making, critical thinking, problem-solving, and regulation. Charisma is a product of emotional interaction between a charismatic and another individual. Charisma has, in the recent times, been identified by software developers as a weapon of which they strive to equip the virtual human tutors with to further develop the rapidly changing modes of learning through AI and enhance instructor immediacy. How do we realize charisma in a virtual tutor? Charisma of the tutor can be realized in several dimensions, which will be oratory, vision, humor, teaching techniques, and intellectual challenge, which is the deep knowledge of the subject. Firstly, oratory. Why is a good vocabulary important? By having good vocabulary, the teacher is able to express their ideas more articulately. The more articulate they are, the more credible and authoritative they become. By becoming more credible, the ability to influence the student increases. Secondly, humor. Virtual tutors portray a sense of humor and use it without exceeding the size and to the benefit of the student in the learning process. According to charismatic researchers Huang and Lin, humor is one of the 4 important dimensions of charisma. Thirdly, Teaching techniques. A student perceived his or her virtual human teacher has extraordinary teaching techniques is more likely to have confidence in their ability, belief of worth, enjoyment, or desire in learning. Fourthly, intellectual challenge. Intellectual challenge is one of the most important components of a charismatic teacher. This is the ability of the virtual human tutor to think and understand things, hence adapting the lessons to the needs of the students.
How does charisma impact students' learning? Evidently, charisma, a product of emotional interaction between a charismatic tutor and their students, will positively impact the student's understanding towards the subject and subsequently allow the student to grasp more knowledge at the end of the day. Charisma enhances personalized learning to provide tailored feedback and support towards the learners. Charisma gives a virtual human tutor the ability to motivate the students through their charm, persuasiveness, and interpersonal connection. Teacher immediacy. Incorporation of charisma in virtual human tutors' capabilities bring forth an aspect of teacher immediacy, which was conceptualized as the nonverbal behaviors that reduce physical and psychological distance between the teachers and students. Research carried out in a university in China indicated that cognitive learning was correlated with a particular instructor's nonverbal and verbal immediacy behaviors. In consequence, developers have sought to develop charismatic skills for their virtual humans, leading to incredibly powerful and rewarding results for both the creator and user. While today's interaction and communication with AI is largely focused on spoken and written language, future AI is expected to be doing so multimodally, detecting the user state and responding in real time to generate a favorable human-like impression.
The analyze testbed. To design and study the charismatic behaviors of a virtual human tutor, a testbed called Alive was developed, where a virtual human gives a lecture on the human circulatory system. The lecture consisted of 83 utterances and 4 quizzes. For the experimental purposes, a baseline where non-verbal charismatic strategies were used, then another baseline where charismatic verbal strategies was applied. The recording focused on using a flat and monotone voice to non-charismatic voices with animated, enthusiastic voices to charismatic voices. A study with Alive was carried out where participants were randomly assigned to one of the 6 conditions. Number 1, non-charismatic text only. 2, charismatic text only. 3, non-charismatic text with non-charismatic voice. 4, non-charismatic text with charismatic voice. 5, charismatic text with non-charismatic voice. And 6, charismatic text with charismatic voice. As an outcome, charisma is the compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. To say, a charismatic voice should always be guided by unconscious emotion. For example, you would yell stop to a child that you saw running into traffic in an adult voice. To possess charisma, you should be just as clear about the emotions of your words. In the study, participants filled out a background survey and took a pre-test on the circulatory system. Then the participants went through the lecture in Alive. After that, the participants filled out a post-interaction survey and took a post-test on the human circulatory system. Researchers developed scripted speech dialogues with the verbal strategies and recorded the speeches with actors using the non-verbal strategies. The dialogue is further implemented in a virtual human embedded in a virtual classroom to give a lecture on the human circulatory system. They conducted this study with the virtual human to assess the impact of the charismatic verbal and non-verbal behaviors on perceived charisma. The results show the positive impact of the use of verbal strategies and how the use of voice can influence such impact. The results shed light on the next steps to automatically generate charismatic speech voices and gestures for virtual characters. Here we have a graph of the mean against the conditions which the participants were assigned to. In the first column, we can see that the mean, the blue color shows the self-efficacy of the pre-test, the green color shows the self-efficacy of the post-test, and the purple color shows the self-efficacy change between the post-test and the pre-test. In simple terms, the self-efficacy refers to an individual's capacity or ability to execute behaviors necessary to produce a desired result. So, in the first column, we have the self-efficacy of the pre-test as 3.2, then the self-efficacy of the post-test as 4.8, and finally the change to be 1.7. We can see that there's a difference between the pre-test and the post-test after the virtual human tutor. Next, we have the charismatic text only. We have 3.0 for the pre-test, 5.1 for the post-test, and 2.2 as the change. We can see that there's a significant change between the non-charismatic text and the charismatic text only, which implies that charisma is not needed inside virtual human tutoring. In the third column, we can see that the non-charismatic text and the non-charismatic voice are significantly lower than the other columns, which shows that charisma is definitely necessary in virtual human tutoring and learning. To conclude, despite heterogeneous conceptualization and inherent complexity, there is a consensus that charismatic individuals exert influence, comfort, and connect to others. Having a charismatic virtual tutor will augment learning that's helping the students. In education, for example, a charismatic artificial intelligence will be more engaging and captivating for the students to experience. Overall, we envision a plethora of use cases with eminent values of charisma and artificial intelligence. Thank you, and that was all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this charismatic presentation. Thank you to Lakeisha, Rahma, Precious, and Uthaynah, for authors. It was interesting to hear. I was expected that the last part, charismatic text and charismatic voice, will be higher than the others, but it was interesting to see that charismatic text and non-charismatic voice is the highest. It was interesting to see that. Thank you. Any questions to this young academicians? Next presentation, and the name of the presentation is Effects of Motivational Agents on Reducing Foreign Language Anxiety. There are 3 authors. Are they here?
Hello.
Okay, they are here.
Yes,
Lama and Nathan.
Yes.
Okay. Fernandez?
Yes, that's me. I will share my screen.
Please. Nathan Fernandez here, but
yes,
it is Michael Fernandez. That's why. Okay. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lemma, and I worked with Dear and Nathan to research the effectiveness of motivational agents on reducing foreign language anxiety. So to introduce this topic, foreign language anxiety is a feeling of worry or stress that can come with learning a new language, and it can cause a significant decrease in somebody's performance in that subject. So to combat this issue and enhance learning, researchers began studying the use of something called motivational agents, and these can be voice assistants or actual characters on screen, and they give supportive feedback that can encourage learners to embrace the language. So researchers have also studied various feedback methods that can be used on these students struggling with foreign language anxiety, including sandwich feedback, which is giving a positive comment followed by an explanation and then another positive comment. Explanatory feedback, which is just explaining the reasoning behind the correct answer. And corrective feedback simply states if the given answer was right or wrong without any explanation. And depending on the gender and achievement level, the effects of these practices varied. So we had two main research questions for this research. The first one was how effective are motivational agents at decreasing foreign language anxiety depending on gender? And we thought that gender would influence the preferred method of the motivational agents. And the second question was what type of motivational agent would perform the best? And we thought that the animated agent would perform the best. Our three objectives were, the first one was to research the ways to reduce foreign language anxiety in these students and to break the foreign language barrier. The second was to understand the effect that artificial intelligence or AI has on students looking to learn a new language. And the third was to discover the impact that motivation through stuff like motivational agents has on learners of a new language.
So these are our scopes and limitations. So the scope of our experiment was basically that the research will look at males and females of different ages that are all seeking to learn English. It'll take place in areas such as schools and school-like settings. And then the study will have multiple types of motivational agents for each gender to test the effectiveness of each one. And then the limitations of this experiment was the students' own innate abilities, such as their grit, their will to learn, and self-motivation. So for our research instrumentation, researchers developed an e-learning system, which is basically a digital learning system, to teach English to 56 foreign students. And then it would be altering feedback type and feedback modality across the sample of the 56 students. The experiment was a 2x3 factorial design, and participants were randomly assigned to one of the conditions, that being either a text, voice, or agent, which is the modality, and then either explanatory or motivational, which was the type. So for the explanatory feedback type, reasoning was provided for incorrect and partially correct answers. And then for correct answers, the system simply stated yes, and then gave the participant an explanation. For the motivational feedback type, this was the sandwich feedback type, in which an explanation was put in between two positive comments, such as super job and you tried really hard. And then for feedback modality, as I said before, the reasoning was provided by either text, voice, or agent. And then once students answered their given question, the system gave them an explanation based on the experimental group that they were in. And then the students then self-reported their levels of anxiety during the process. Just to add on, only 2 of the research feedback types were used for the sake of this study. And then our evaluations. So to analyze the results, there was an analysis of variance test done, also known as the ANOVA test. There were 4 evaluations, the first of which was that it measured the mean anxiety across the different modalities and types of feedbacks. The second evaluation measured mean anxiety across the feedback types, depending on the learner performance, that being either they were correct, partially correct, or incorrect. The third evaluation measured mean anxiety across gender, feedback modality, and feedback type. And then the fourth evaluation measured mean anxiety for males and females separately across the 6 given conditions.
So for sources of data, an experiment where the factors were feedback type and feedback modality. And then within this experiment, the system evaluated the learner's answers and responded in a certain way, depending on which answer was given. So on the first diagram, you can see an example of a sandwich feedback model. And we also use other quantitative measures of collection, such as direct observation. And then on the table below, it shows the mean anxiety with standard deviation for feedback modality and type. So there's 3 types, and then there's 2 versions, explanatory and supportive. And there were other experiments to measure the ability of artificial intelligent agents in teaching new languages to students. So conclusions and findings. The statistical evidence conveyed a difference in the type of motivational agents favored by males and females. For example, females showed a higher mean scores of improvements with the help of agents than males. However, they still rated their skills to be subpar compared to their male counterparts. In cases of non-animated agents, explanatory text served to be the best for males, while voice seemed to fit best for females. Furthermore, the qualities of the voice or the animated agent impacted how each gender was influenced. For example, if the voice of the animated agent was a female or it was a male, the other gender would be impacted more and show lower levels of anxiety. Other statistical evidence was also useful. The highest levels of anxiety occurred in people who answered incorrectly and got explanatory feedback, and the lowest levels of anxiety occurred in people who answered correctly and got explanatory feedback. This shows that you can use supportive feedback, but it must be used fittingly, because if used too much, students feel as if they're not answering well enough, and they increase anxiety rather than decrease anxiety. So extension. So we could further our research by examining the impact of motivational agents and what they have on lowering anxiety across numerous other areas of learning, such as public speaking or learning a new skill. Furthermore, we could look for methods that decrease the amount of limitations and can factor in a student's mindset to make the data more widely accepted and lowering the amount of specificity required. And it can also, with this more general application, be used in the education system and modify curriculums in order to result in higher proficiency in learning a new topic. These are the acknowledgements, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. It was also interesting to hear this presentation. Any questions or additions to our colleagues about motivational agents or anxiety? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. No questions. So we can continue with the next presentation from Pratham, Nursel, and Huri. That's the revision of ethical policies regarding the incorporation of AI into K-12 education. Oh, they're here. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Nursai will be presenting today. Our other partner isn't here, so I can share my screen. Can everyone hear me well?
Please go on. Share your screen.
Okay. So our project is about the revision of policies regarding the incorporation of artificial intelligence into primary and secondary learning, also known as K-12 education. A little bit of background information about us. I'm Bahar Kuse or Huri Kuse, whichever you prefer. I'm a rising senior at Harmony Public Schools, and I intend on pursuing computer science in undergrad and then later on moving into the medical field.
And I'm Nursel Eski. I'm a rising junior also attending the Harmony Public Schools. I hope to major in biochem and go on to the medical field. So recently, as we all know, artificial intelligence has gained a lot of popularity, particularly in the field of education. And students and staff members both have been making use of these AI integrated programs in order to go about their responsibilities in shortcut ways. So teachers have used artificial intelligence to grade student assignments, scan the assignments for plagiarism, and test students. And a program you all may be familiar with is turnitin.com, which is a plagiarism checker that scans student work and compares it to materials online on Google and things like that, and matches text based on that. And they've also used artificial intelligence to develop sample test questions and practice problems for their students. Students have used artificial intelligence to compose essays, summarize their notes, and ask course-related questions. And a common application students have been using is ChatGPT. And here a student can ask whatever they want in regards to courses, and there's a vast array of answers that could come up.
So yes, artificial intelligence definitely has brought up many benefits into the educational field. However, it has also brought up many issues surrounding artificial intelligence in education, especially with the policies that have been constructed in order to help take measures for the efficiency of AI in education. Most of these concerns involve educators, students, and parents. One of the biggest issues in the minds of educators is that when artificial intelligence was introduced, especially after COVID-19 during online learning, it kind of took away the humanistic approach in education. Policies should have been looking over ACE in AI, which means always center the educator in artificial intelligence. However, it's been overlooked. And the particular difference between AI and education over other AI applications is that the harms are outlooked because it's not as life-threatening, such as like self-automated cars. So these issues have often been overlooked and concerns have grown regarding these policies. Another issue is that some of these softwares have become too advanced in a way that teachers start allocating most of their time to navigate through these softwares rather than spending extra time to teach their students and improve upon their skills. This results in teachers not being able to fulfill their jobs and declines the knowledge and kind of goes for the opposite purpose of what AI is targeting in education. This has also contributed to a widely spread phenomenon of early retirement or resignation amongst K through 12 teachers since the pandemic. Usually, these students and parents have very similar concerns, and this concern is that data privacy and security is a big issue that policies haven't really been looking out for. Now, these policies, often students, the minors, like people under 18, are using these softwares and their data is stored by third-party users. So what ends up happening is they do not use these data accurately and transparently, which can result in inaccurate research results. These policies have not been very protective of the transparency and accuracy of these data results of students, so that is a big problem. Additionally, students have been using AI in order to gain unethical assistance, often displaying other forms of work as their own, so plagiarism, and educational policies aren't enforcing strict boundaries for these issues, and the current AI being used can often slip up and make mistakes, so students can easily slip away without getting in trouble. Now, parents also have the concern about privacy, but the other thing that we wanted to focus on is socio-emotional necessities. When there's a humanistic approach to education, there's a connection between the student and the teacher, which kind of fosters a bond that helps students learn more. However, artificial intelligence doesn't go through the same pedagogical educations and professions that teachers do, so they can't approach the students in the same way that teachers do.
So those were some of the general concerns different perspectives had. And so onto the ethical concerns, there are 4 main concerns that we focused on. The first is unfairness. There are many students who rely on artificial intelligence to complete their assignments, and those students do have an unfair advantage over the students who actually put their own time and effort into it. And there's also the matter of authenticity and originality. When students copy the works developed by artificial intelligence, they end up taking away from the application of their own uniqueness and creativities, and they don't end up expressing their own opinions, concerns, and the information they actually learned. And when it comes to work habits, prolonged reliance of students and teachers on artificial intelligence to carry out their responsibilities ultimately does lead to lazy habits, which in turn harms them. And as for human and emotional support, AI can't bridge the gap between students and teachers by providing the emotional human support that they actually need to properly develop.
So, keeping these concerns and issues in mind, we conducted a literary search and we looked for different ways or ideas to make adjustments to these policies to fix these concerns. So some of the largest concerns, as we mentioned before, is the lack of privacy and data security and the inaccurate use of data sets. The use of user information is often displayed in an uncensored manner and can be used to inaccurately display data. And the ethics of this matter should be reconsidered through revision of policies with several experts. For example, experts in computation, education, and big data can consider the ethics of each of these fields in order to accurately and transparently represent data acquired through AI in education. Lack of inclusivity and underrepresented populations. Now, yes, although artificial intelligence has played a significant role in shaping education after the pandemic, many students still do not have access to this technology at home. Therefore, the educational gap widens between the students. So an adaptability of AI in education can be achieved through policy updates regarding the distribution of technologies to students in need. And lastly, the decline of a human-centered approach. Students have been using AI-generated responses for their classworks. Teachers use artificial intelligence to check in and communicate with students. So overall, there's been a decline in the human-centered approach, the human-centered nature of education. So this cuts off the interaction and results in failure of pedagogical approaches to teaching. And we believe that policies should be adjusted around human-centered artificial intelligence. Sorry.
So in order to alleviate these ethical concerns with AI in education, as Bahar mentioned before, we can revise the current policies that we have. And then we have the pedagogical appropriateness, which is a group of educational values. And these values touch on personalized learning on behalf of the students. It also addresses the possible educational setbacks and vulnerabilities. And this also holds the teacher responsibility for choosing when to apply artificial intelligence in the classroom environment. So this means they have to consider if it's good, if it's enhancing or benefiting the students. And we can also address children's rights by recognizing these children as human beings with their own entitlements and dignity. So this would simply mean that teachers, admin, and guardians are to act in the best interests of the students. Another thing is AI literacy. So this means informing the students and parents about artificial intelligence so that they are aware of it. And this could mean understanding the values and ethics of artificial intelligence. This would also mean being aware of the possible limitations of artificial intelligence. Another thing is teachers' well-being. This means being responsive to the increased workloads and providing more time for curriculum preparation or including teacher and student interaction. Another thing is the concern of unemployment due to the extensive application of artificial intelligence.
That's all we had to say. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Any questions?
Yes, thank you so much. It was interesting about hearing AI. In these days, we are working with AI, studying with AI, and in the future, we are going to have more places with AI. And yeah, human, where are we going to work and what we are going to do? It's a question, but I think I can see in this conference also, the Z generation like you don't have any difficulties like using Zoom or presentations, sharing. I can see it here. Then with the Z generation and AI, they can go collaboratively in the future. They know what to do with AI. But for the X and Y generation, it's sometimes not good to cope with the new things, to learn the new things, like you say, AI literacy. Then, yeah, we need to learn, but you are the young generation and you are successful doing these things, I think, more than the old generation. So any questions for these young academicians or any additions to their AI learning presentation? Okay, thank you so much. Before going with the recorded presentations, I want to announce the first presentation again, one more time. Maybe they have come. Mustafa, Nalcaci, Emre, Tunca, and Nuhayd not. Rebuilding STEM education post-COVID. I think they are not here.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow participants, it is with great enthusiasm and a sense of privilege that we stand before you today at the esteemed London International Conference.
Voice is okay? Do you hear the voice?
Yes, everything is okay.
As participants in this gathering of brilliant minds, we are humbled to be among such a distinguished audience and have the opportunity to share our insights on source code plagiarism. My name is Jane Manurath, and along with my colleagues, Caleb Kirabel and Thomas Cruz, today we'll be presenting our presentation, Copy-Paste Culture examining the causes and solutions to source code plagiarism.
Since the manifestation of intellectual ideas, plagiarism has often plagued the lives of students. Many have claimed the works of others as their own and received credit for an assignment that they have chosen not to do. This lack of diligence has carried on across eras of human history, and in this digital age has taken the form of source code plagiarism. Detecting source code plagiarism has become increasingly difficult due to reference templates that can't bypass plagiarism detection, the extensive manual efforts required to identify plagiarism in large amounts of code, and the exploitation of loopholes to evade AI detection despite some limitations in the system. In this presentation, we will explain what source code plagiarism is, its cause and effects, its potential solutions, and the problems regarding its solutions through various sources. So what exactly is source code plagiarism? Source code plagiarism is the improper or illicit reuse of any original work of code. There are multiple ways students can go about plagiarizing other source code. One way is to deliberately copy and paste someone else's work without giving them the proper credit for it, whether it would be from a close friend or online. Students often get in trouble for taking credit for work that isn't their own. Another way that students can plagiarize code is if they commit self-plagiarism. Unbeknownst to some, reusing their old code to pass off as new work can drastically affect their academic careers. Lastly, referencing someone else's code while incorrectly citing their work is also considered plagiarism. Although students do not attempt to take credit for original work that is not their own, they misinform readers about who the work belongs to, thus plagiarizing their work.
So what exactly causes source code plagiarism in education? Source code plagiarism can be appealing to students in computer science and programming courses for several different reasons. Not only is there a plethora of accessible resources online, but it can also be seen as a quick and easy way to complete assignments for those who lack a general understanding of the topic, those who can't properly manage their time, and those who may crumble under high expectations from parents, teachers, etc. Additionally, there are cases where source code plagiarism occurs unintentionally. For example, many students do not understand what constitutes source code plagiarism and the necessary citation methods to avoid it. There may also be confusion about the limits for acceptable collaboration in these assignments. This collection of conditions have led to the widespread event of source code plagiarism we see today. But how exactly does this affect us? Well, this may not be applicable for the members attending this conference today, but this does have a significant effect on younger generations and those that follow. Source code plagiarism creates an environment of academic dishonesty within our education system, consequently undermining assessment's fairness. If this continues, many students incapable of writing their own code may be brought into the workforce without the proper qualifications. Not only that, but source code plagiarism also hinders a student's mental development and problem-solving capabilities. By becoming over-reliant on source code plagiarism, they lose their ability to problem-solve and create code, skills that are required to foster future generations of computer programmers.
When dealing with source code plagiarism, there are generally two methods to solve the issue: reactive and proactive. Proactive methods focus on preventing plagiarism before it even happens. This is done by educating students on plagiarism, creating clear anti-plagiarism policies across different academic programs, and adopting honor codes. Teaching students how to cite their code properly can prevent students from accidentally plagiarizing someone else's work. By creating clear anti-plagiarism policies, students can understand the consequences that will arise if they are caught plagiarizing, whether that results in a 0 for the assignment or a suspension/expulsion. Honor codes create a sense of academic integrity, which helps create an atmosphere of trust. This atmosphere of trust helps prevent plagiarism by causing students to fear violating said trust. Reactive methods, on the other hand, focus on catching instances of plagiarism instead of preventing it. They do so by employing a combination of techniques and algorithms created to detect source code plagiarism. JPLAG, SIM, MOS, and PLAGI are just a few examples of the many algorithms available for educators to utilize in the detection process.
A common approach to plagiarism detection is source code relies on parsing the source code contained in the document and then generating token strings. Using the previously mentioned algorithms, the token strings generated by this approach are then compared to other token strings. To sim utility, one of the algorithms mentioned earlier is an example of the approach. It uses string alignment techniques and algorithms originally developed to detect similarities between DNA strings. As appealing as the solutions may seem, there are various drawbacks to each of them. The drawbacks to reactive. Although reactive methods employ a combination of algorithms in an effort to limit the number of false positives, they are bound to arise. There are multiple reasons that can cause false positives to arise, but the most common reason is the use of common code design patterns within assignments. Using common codes such as iteration loops can cause the plagiarism detector to create a false positive. This stems from the fact that every iteration loop is structured the same, just with different variables. Additionally, the use of instructor-provided templates can throw off plagiarism detectors as they are not taken into account during the detection process. Another problem is that students might see the effort used in detecting plagiarism as a personal attack, resulting in the student seeing the educator as an enemy instead of a mentor. Although reactive methods provide instant results by discovering pieces of plagiarism, they have a negative impact in the long term. Researchers stress that as the reactive method doesn't add much value to the academic process, it could lead to students focusing on ways to bypass an engine instead of learning the material. Although using AI to search for plagiarism makes it easier for the instructors, they are often limited to a specific language. This includes written languages such as English, French, and Arabic, and coding languages such as Python, Java, and C#. The experiment Pseudocode Africa 2.0 uses processing-based code files, so languages like Python can't be effectively detected for plagiarism. Similarly, the written language in Pseudocode Africa 2.0 is limited to English and French. The downsides for proactive. Although the results for proactive methods are better in the long term, they require a significantly longer time to implement. Although proactive methods help academic institutions prevent plagiarism before it arises, they don't prove plagiarism was conducted. This could allow students that don't care about honor codes to continue plagiarizing without fear of consequences. In conclusion, source code plagiarism is a growing problem in modern society that cannot be avoided any longer. With a lack of general understanding of the topic, improper time management, and high expectations, source code plagiarism has conditioned an environment of academic dishonesty within our education system. To combat this problem, both proactive and reactive methods can be used. They each have their own benefits, but they each also have their own problems. Proactive methods strive to prevent plagiarism from happening, while reactive methods strive to detect it. Proactive methods have more positive results in the long term, but they take a long time to implement and fail to detect plagiarism. Reactive methods are the opposite and have better results in the short term, yet cause strife or conflict between educators and students. Regardless of the methods an academic institution takes, it is imperative that they implement one to foster a qualified new generation of coders. This was brought to you by Thomas Cruz, Caleb Kiribel, and Jaden Manras. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and that's the end of it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Farooq.
Mr. Kurt, I think Mustafa is here. You
For
can.
the first presentation?
Yes, you can give him a chance to present.
Okay. Mustafa, Nalcaci, Emre, Tunca, and Nuhayd not. It is about rebuilding STEM education post-COVID. Mustafa, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Sorry. Some of us down here in Texas, we're having some connectivity issues. My apologies.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
But we could get we could get straight to it. I can share my screen.
Okay, please,
And
please. Yeah.
all right. Okay. Am I on?
Go on, please. Yeah.
All
We
right.
can hear you. We can see the slides. No problem. Please continue.
Okay, perfect. So, like you said, sir, our research project's name was Rebuilding STEM Education post-COVID. And my team consisted of Nuhayd Nadi, myself, Mustafa Nalcaci, and Emre Tunca. So the description to our research project was, firstly, our question: what was the effect of COVID-19 on STEM education? And how have these effects been mitigated, and what is the way forward? The purpose of our research was to document the effects of COVID-19, document the effects COVID-19 had on staffs and students in education in the STEM fields, and bring up the various solutions tried out by different institutions, and comment on these the successes of these solutions. Our methodology was synthesizing peer-reviewed academic articles, and which were the primary method by which results of this research was conducted. Our table of contents, basically, we're just gonna go in introduction, and then explain our results, and then finally conclude at the very end. So introduction. I would like to first start us off with a quote from Daniel Kelly. The single most important event in recent history that had such a tremendous influence on education was COVID-19. So here's a little bit of background information. First of all, COVID-19 pandemic began in late 2019, but only really had a major effect on STEM education starting March of 2020, when it caused in-person classes to be canceled. This was, I believe, in the fourth quarter of the school year, and this got everyone into a panic, and we all had to be locked up in our homes and resume our classes through Zoom. The transition to remote learning then persisted throughout the academic year via platforms such as Zoom. Upon a resumption of physical classes for the 2021-2022 academic year, and even after the administration of the COVID-19 vaccine, many schools still impose stringent measures to protect students, such as mandatory use of masks. And the reconstruction year, this was seen as a year when the education system could be rebuilt, could be rebuilt from its ruins. Same for students' lives. In this period of reconstruction, there are many viewpoints on what steps should be taken, and to fully understand the subject, all these viewpoints should be taken into consideration. These viewpoints range widely and include those of students, teachers, and school boards. I will be passing it on to my teammate Emre.
Part 2, our results. So the effect of the pandemic on the teacher staff. Teachers were overworking during the online year, and despite putting in more effort than a normal non-COVID year, working circumstances and altered lesson plans led to decreased effectivity of their teaching, leading to their demoralization. Students' lack of motivation and shift in priorities of a student made it difficult for instructors to teach effectively, which increased the mental strain on teachers, and hence increased the number of teachers quitting their jobs in order to alleviate the stress. Despite teachers' self-efficacy and technological competency increasing, their overall outlook towards online learning got negative due to a wide array of challenges they faced, and them not finding online learning beneficial, but rather harmful to the learning environment. Teachers' adaptability to online learning was also a key factor in the success or failure of online learning. If a teacher was unable to adapt their normal lesson plan to an online year, then they were unable to effectively teach, even if they put in more effort. There's some projects that you can only do in person. For example, science classes, if you're dissecting a frog, that's like a common project. You can't do that online. You can only watch videos of it, which is not as effective in a learning environment. In conclusion, due to the lack of motivation, extra hours worked, STEM education changing interests, and challenges facing online school and the domain used in online learning, teachers became discouraged, causing a further dent in the STEM curriculum. College STEM adjustments post-COVID. Due to many colleges already having online learning systems like Canvas in place, they were a lot less affected than normal grade schools. COVID did not only affect grade schools, but also universities, making them switch to fully online rather than half online, as a lot of colleges already were, and severed personal teacher-student relationships, among other communication issues. To rebuild this personal connection, STEM professors often try to make their students comfortable by creating an open line of communication through more office hours and extra tutoring, allowing leniency of rules and grades that would otherwise be extremely stringent. Another factor that seemed to affect student motivation was peer, family, and on-campus support. The more they felt supported, and the more these three types of supports were balanced out with each other, the more comfortable and likely to succeed they became. In conclusion, STEM college students need support and leniency from multiple different groups, including but not limited to professors, family, and peers. With the combined support from each of these groups, along with the support mediating and keeping each other in balance, STEM college students would be able to re-enter the intimate and constructive ideal college environment after the COVID era. And our third viewpoint was school boards. One major challenge facing school boards everywhere was restoring them and maintaining access to STEM education, including the resources and the lesson plans, since there was no teachers to teach the plans. To do this, many schools turned to online learning platforms like Zoom, and even went further to provide students with access to technology, such as giving Chromebooks or iPads to students to take home, and other resources they would need to participate in online classes. School boards have also adapted to the pandemic by working hand in hand with educators to develop new and innovative teaching methods, which incorporate the use of technology and online tools to make learning more interactive and engaging for students. Additionally, school boards have also been working to increase the number of STEM programs and resources available to students via coding classes, robotics clubs, and online STEM competitions. And despite challenges posed by the pandemic, school boards have been working hard in order to ensure that students have access to high-quality education. By utilizing online learning platforms, providing necessary resources, and working closely with STEM educators, school boards were able to keep students engaged and motivated in STEM subjects and prepare them for success in these fields.
Thank you, Emre. And the final parts of our presentation will be presented by our third member, Nuhayd. Take the floor.
Right, thank you very much. So if I could get the next slide, please. Right, so the conclusions. So what do we deduce from everything that's been said in the previous slides? Now, in conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic had a major impact on STEM education, affecting students, teachers, and the education system as a whole. The switch to online learning brought about many challenges, including students' lack of motivation, demoralization of teachers, and change in STEM education priorities. STEM teachers were burdened with extra hours, but their efforts did not translate to better results. Instead, the overall view of online schooling was shifted significantly negatively. Post-COVID, college-level STEM education faced similar yet subdued challenges as grade-level schooling, including the switch to fully online education and severing of teacher-students relationships. However, STEM professors who prioritized open communication and provided the support STEM students needed were more effective at creating a positive learning environment. The pandemic wasn't the tragedy to education that it could have been. It has shown that the education system needs to be more adaptable and flexible to ensure that students and teachers receive the assistance they need in times of crisis. STEM education in particular needs to be reevaluated to address the challenges and changes brought about by the pandemic and to provide a more effective learning experience for students. The efforts of teachers and educators to start to adapt and overcome these challenges is a start, and it is through their resilience and determination that STEM education will continue to thrive in the post-COVID era.
And here are our references. Does anyone have any types of questions?
Thank you so much for this presentation with the evaluation of COVID-19 and the STEM lessons. It was interesting here about teachers and their attitudes with this
Yeah, it was
process.
it was particularly special for me and my team because currently we're going into our senior year, and when COVID started, it was towards the end of our 8th grade year, and here in Texas, United States, 8th grade is really the most important year of your middle school and elementary year because you take multiple end of course exams, and it was fun, missing those exams because of COVID, but we didn't. Me and my friends at least didn't expect the effects of the pandemic to stretch so far, and it was special for us because I feel like as students we were affected firsthand, and our teachers were affected firsthand. So for our research, we not only confided in our teachers, but also some of the administrators in our schools and in other schools. And we also took anecdotes from some of our classmates and our friends from other schools. So that's really our main reason why we chose this topic to research.
Okay. With your experience, yeah, it was interesting to share. Okay. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Emre and Nuhayd. Any questions? We don't have, I think. Then we have another recorded presentation. The presentation, Jesse, Amal, and Duran, approaches to artificial intelligence. One more time, we are going to listen. Implementation in the education system and overview. Dr. Faruk?
Yes, I will share.
Yeah. Can you share? Okay.
But just a minute.
Approaches to artificial intelligence implementation in the education system.
Do you hear the voice?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Malabasi and Jesse Eliud.
Hello, my name is Jesse Eliud, and I'm a student at HSI Katy. Overview. Artificial intelligence is a notable force in evolving innovation in numerous industries. Overall, this presentation explores the heavily prominent impact of AI on varying forms of personalized primary and secondary education. In addition, it also dives into the recent onset and appearing limitations of artificial intelligence-based tools on student productivity. Moreover, we will discuss the potential uses of project-based learning systems to teach artificial intelligence. By inspecting these topics, we plan to lay out a coherent overview of how AI can advance and hinder education.
Hi, I'm Duran Mohamed and I'm a student at Harmony School of Innovation, KD. The personalization of education through artificial intelligence. As the education sector has fluctuated rapidly over the past few decades, a plethora of new teaching methods have been formed to further suit the needs of eager students. One method, personalized education, has attained heavy prevalence in recent years thanks to its theoretical effectiveness in teaching students of all backgrounds and capabilities. However, due to the sheer quantity of unique learners seen throughout the globe, mass forms of such an education system tend to be heavily limited and weak compared to more standard systems. In order to help strengthen personalized education, artificial intelligence has been used. with its effectiveness in analyzing students en masse, allowing the teaching technique to reach a new stage of viability. As such, many attempts have been made by researchers to aid students individually through AI-based feedback. A research group at Stockholm University, for instance, successfully established a data-driven feedback system using machine learning in an anonymous programming class taught over the course of 2 years. Using initial assessment, quiz, assignment, and practice data, the group was able to predict students' performances with nearly 90% accuracy. Paired with interactive student dashboards, they then utilized these predictions to
Dr. Fark,
with the ability to
Yes.
tabulate and personalize
we see your
which is
screen,
more
but
well-rounded
the WhatsApp screen,
in the course.
not the presentation.
This is
Yes,
also
Okay.
now it's okay. Yeah.
education-based artificial intelligence. In order to further improve the positive effects of artificial intelligence-driven models, research has also been aimed towards understanding how exactly learners should properly interpret and analyze them. Judy Kay, a professor at the University of Sydney, argues that scrutability is key when it comes to AI in education. That is, learners must truly understand the model they are using to maximize its benefits. According to Kay, such a scrutable AI model should be able to allow learners to answer the following questions. 1. What does the system teach? 2. What have I demonstrated that I know? How well do I know a particular aspect, X? Am I making steady progress, or not? 3. What should I do next? By being able to interpret learner models at this level, students should have the ability to trust their practicality and efficiency, thus allowing them to more confidently grasp the topics taught through them.
Hi, my name is Amal. I am a high school junior attending Harmony School of Innovation, and today I'm going to be discussing the rising limitations and attributes of AI in education. To start off, I'm going to be talking about the rising attributes of AI in education. So, along with personalized education through learner analysis, artificial intelligence has a plethora of systems, applications, and tools that can be used for particular purposes that enhance learning. Some examples of this include paraphrasing softwares, multi-purpose responsive AI chats, and student-tutor matching systems. These allow for a more refined approach to education-related tasks by using AI to simplify the learning processes and consequently reduce the total time it takes to learn. By minimizing the negative effects of certain learning blockades, such as a faulty student-teacher match and the need to read lengthy works in the scope of a broader project, AI allows students to focus on more important aspects of learning and reduces potential complications, resulting in an overall smoother learning process. A notable example of an AI tool that is rising in education is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an artificially intelligent chat developed by OpenAI that is capable of countless tasks, including summarizing long text, crafting resumes, providing objective advice, programming, and more. It can also be used to create lessons, improve student interest, and personalize learning, giving it major potential in the educational field, catching the attention of many scholars and educators. Additionally, it has proven to be a useful tool in healthcare education, helping apply skills such as communication and decision-making, as well as increasing information retention by simulating medical situations and allowing students to apply their knowledge. Next, I'm going to be discussing the recent limitations of AI in education. As these educational resources and attributes have advanced rapidly over the past few decades, the need to teach their uses and limitations too has appeared. Many organized efforts based around AI education have been formed, attempting to establish the base principles behind the many strengths and weaknesses of AI. One study on artificially intelligent paraphrasing models reveals that although their software preserved the majority of text meanings, there's still a significant gap of error. The study concluded that although their software had relatively high-quality paraphrases, there's still other aspects of the software to be explored and developed to increase accuracy. Similarly, another study points out that AI systems aren't entirely perfected, as they're not guaranteed to reach the best solution, especially in cases that require true analysis into different factors of a situation. The study adds that implementing AI can also result in liability issues in the case that there's a harmful error. Previously referenced study on ChatGPT also highlights that although it has educational potential, there's still some issues regarding potential bias, the need for human review, and the possibility of misuse. Overall, many AI systems that have been put forth still have a long way to go and a significant margin of error that must be considered when proceeding with their integration into the education system.
Teaching AI through project-based learning Project-based learning, or PBLs, provide students with direct experiences which they can use to gain a reasonable understanding of AI. PBL projects teach students specific uses of AI, as shown in the study based on AI in schools. This study demonstrated a specific project based on creating maps of familiar places. This project specifically demonstrated a problem that can be solved through the use of AI techniques while also connecting it to PBL core values. Below in the bullet points, you can see the PBL core values and how it connects to this particular project. AI enhancing project-based learning. With the consistent rise in project-based learning and the boom of artificial intelligence, it is not surprising that they work extremely well together. Both enable others to advance their learning capabilities as well as their problem-solving skills. AI can be used to analyze student patterns and provide guidance to take a student's project to the next level. AI collaboration tools can also be used to help students communicate well-thought-out ideas to peers. Examples of these being Trello and Asana, which both help with task organization and timely reminders. This intertwining of artificial intelligence and project-based learning allows students to become well acquainted with AI functions. When AI and project-based learning are paired together, they create a prosperous environment that fosters student growth and development. The combination of AI-powered tools and PBL methodologies can provide personalized support and structure, enhancing the overall learning experience.
Overall, artificial intelligence has proven to be a powerful and useful tool in education due to its ability to personalize student learning and provide a variety of educational tools that enhance learning. A notable example is ChatGPT, a multi-responsive AI chat that is rising in the field of education. Integrating AI into the educational field could allow for maximized learning in minimal time. However, implementing AI into education should be done with caution, minding the potential challenges and limitations to artificial intelligence that are being examined by recent professionals. Some negative aspects of AI that should be considered include significant margins of error, issues in liability, accuracy issues, and potential misuse. If artificial intelligence is implemented in education, efforts should be put forth to teach the basics of artificial intelligence. A method with positive responses among scholars is project-based learning systems to teach AI.
Here are the references we use for our presentation. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Fark. It was the last record
Yes.
presentation, but there
Before,
is a presentation from yesterday,
yes,
and we can have the last one with this presentation from Dr. Eroğlu, ChatGPT and Beyond, exploring the future of conversational AI.
Distinguished chair and participants.
do you hear this voice? Mr. Kurt,
Yes, yes, I can hear, but can you make it a little bit upper? Yes.
Valuable colleagues.
Is it okay?
Today,
yes,
my presentation about AI, ChatGPT and beyond, exploring the future of conversational AI. What is inside this presentation? We have 5 sections, and the first one for introduction. An introduction includes definition of conversational AI, importance of conversational AI in today's world, brief overview of ChatGPT. And the second section is about the rise of ChatGPT, background of development of ChatGPT, features and capabilities of ChatGPT, examples of ChatGPT in action, and third part, the potential of conversational AI, application of conversational AI in various industries, advantages and benefits of a conversational AI, challenges and limitation of conversational AI. The fourth one, the future of conversational AI, emerging trends and technologies in conversational AI, ethical consideration and potential societal implication of conversational AI, opportunities and challenges for the future of conversational AI. As a conclusion, we will describe about the recap of key points and the final thoughts of future of conversational AI and ChatGPT. The rise of conversational AI. Welcome to the world of conversational AI, where machine can talk and understand us like never before. From chatbots to virtual assistants, conversational AI is transforming the way we interact with technology and each other. With its ability to understand natural language and generate human-like responses, it's no wonder that conversational AI is quickly becoming a game changer in today's digital landscape. Definition of a conversational AI. Conversational AI is a subfield of artificial intelligence that deals with creating intelligent machines capable of holding human-like conversations. It involves the development of chatbots, virtual assistants, and other conversational interfaces that can interact with humans with natural language. The goal of conversational AI is to provide users with seamless experience by understanding their intent and responding appropriately. Conversational AI relies on natural language processing and machine learning techniques to understand and interpret human language. It involves building models that can recognize patterns in text, speech, and other forms of communication. These models are then used to generate responses that are relevant and meaningful to the user. Importance of conversational AI in today's world. Conversational AI is rapidly becoming an essential part of our lives. It has revolutionized the way we interact with machines and has made our lives more comfortable and convenient. Conversational AI-powered chatbot and virtual assistant are now being used in various industries, including healthcare, finance, and customer service to provide personalized experience to users. Conversational AI has also made it possible for business to automate their process, reduce cost, and improve efficiency. With the help of conversational AI, business can now handle large volume of customer queries and requests without the need for human
Dr. Faruk,
intervention.
can we make it full screen?
Customer satisfaction,
It's
but
hard to
also
read. Yes,
help
it's clear.
businesses
This
save
presentation
time
is
and
from
money.
yesterday. And there was a presentation, but he couldn't join the conference, so we are going to add it today.
Has revolutionized the way we interact with machines. It's a language model developed by OpenAI that can understand and generate human-like responses to natural language inputs. The model is trained on a massive dataset of text from the internet, which allows it to generate high-quality responses to a wide range of queries and requests. ChatGPT has been used in various applications, including chatbot, virtual assistants, and question answering system. It has been shown to outperform other state-of-the-art models in several benchmark tests, demonstrating its effectiveness in understanding and generating natural language response. The rise of ChatGPT. ChatGPT has quickly risen to become one of the most advanced conversational AI models in the world. Its ability to understand and generate human-like responses to natural language. Since its inception, ChatGPT has been used to various applications. The evolution of chatbots from rule-based to AI-powered. The history of chatbots can be tracked back to the 1960s when computer scientist Joseph Weizenbaum created ELIZA, a program that could simulate conversation by using simple pattern matching rules. However, it wasn't until early 2000s that chatbots started gaining traction with the rise of messaging apps and the need for business to provide 7/24 customer supports. Initial chatbots were limited to rule-based systems that could only respond to scientific comment or keywords. But with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, chatbots have become more sophisticated and capable of understanding natural language and context. This has led to significant improvements in user experience, as chatbots are now able to provide personalized recommendations and engage in more natural and human-like conversation. Introducing ChatGPT, a next-generation conversational AI model. ChatGPT is a cutting-edge conversational AI model that leverages advanced natural language processing techniques to generate responses that are virtually indistinguishable from those of human beings. Unlike traditional chatbot models, ChatGPT uses deep learning algorithms and pre-trained language models to understand the nuance of human conversations
Dr.
and
Fark,
provide more accurate and
Yes.
personalized.
our presentation limit is 10 minutes. So
Okay, I
it's
am
really 10
waiting.
minutes.
I am waiting.
And adapt to new contexts over time, making it an ideal solution for business looking to improve their customer experience. Background and development of ChatGPT.
Okay. Thank you. So it was the presentation, recorded presentation from yesterday from Dr. Erol. And with this last presentation, we have finished our session, the fourth session, education part. And there were useful and good presentations. It was nice to hear new information from AI technology and the AI influence on education. And in the future, we will have, I think, more AI presentations and AI speakings we are going to have for education process and system.